You could pick any of the students we've featured so far and say that they exemplify what a school would want in a high school senior. The next is no exception. Intelligent, hardworking, talented, kind. A leader is how those who know her best describe her. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to Washington High School, where one senior is capitalizing on her skills with plans and the ability to change the world.
And then, are you friends with Morgan Scolton?
S-C-H-O-L-T-N. Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
It's first period on a Friday morning. At Washington High School, the daily student newspaper is due to be printed and distributed online in a matter of minutes.
The first period are my advanced newspaper students, and we work to produce our daily newsletter at Washington High School, the Now, or News of Washington. We do so every full day of school at Washington. They are divided into 5 teams. Maham and Carson Herbert are my 2 co-editors-in-chief, and they supervise the 5 daily teams. There's a Monday team, Tuesday team, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Obviously, there's a great deal of commitment by all of the students involved. Like I say, other than Maham and Carson, they are basically doing a weekly because they're divided into daily teams. But those 2 oversee all of those teams and do the final edit on the paper every day.
For the co-editors-in-chief, it's a big job that has to be done well every day.
Usually by the first period, we try to have all the stories done. So everyone who works on the Friday staff should have the stories done by now. And then Carson, Herbert, and I work together to just edit the paper, make sure there's nothing wrong in it, and check names, check grades, and then just go through it with Mr. Luth and see if there's any changes that we need to make to sentence structure or just the overall story, if it makes sense.
Their job is to, overall make sure that conflicts don't occur either with what the teams are covering or with the personnel on the teams, and then B, to actually edit the newspaper each day. They go through the newspaper, spell check, make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Obviously, I'm involved in that process too, but I'm the last set of eyes to see it. They are the 2 sets of eyes before mine to see it, and then it goes out from there.
Many times, it's a passion that grows over all 4 years of high school.
I started that my freshman year, just kind of helping the upperclassmen write stories, get quotes, and I just kind of stayed with it ever since. Last year, I was the daily editor of the Tuesday staff with Carter Keller, and that was just kind of a fun experience, just kind of be in charge of some people, and then this year I got promoted to editor-in-chief. It kind of gets everyone at Washington involved. When you're on the newspaper staff, you have to try to find different people from different activities and talk to them and interview them, and that just kind of brings everyone together as in the whole school.
She has been active on the staff basically her whole high school career. Her older sister, Kamel, was actually the editor of the newspaper at one time, and I have a lot of legacy students, if you want to call them that, students who have older brothers and sisters who have worked on the Now staff. Obviously not a requirement, but they'll sometimes get into leadership positions because their brothers and sisters will bring them in as freshmen, which doesn't often happen. And they grow and become part of that staff and eventually leaders often, and that's what's happened there with both of those editors, in fact.
With that level of involvement comes significant growth.
When they come in as freshman, sophomore students, they really don't understand what always occurs, although if they are students that have older brothers and sisters involved, they maybe have seen it a little bit up close. But I mean, journalism is different than just writing a term paper or a report or something of that nature. They quickly come to realize that they're going to get feedback, not only from their friends, but from teachers, from parents. I mean, the Now goes out via email to every parent that goes to Washington High and gets emailed around the district and around the state and even around the country. I have grandparents and things that subscribe to the email list, so they get a lot of feedback. And if they write something great and it gets republished somewhere or tweeted about on the district website or something of that nature, they get that positive feedback. And if they mess something up, they're going to hear about that too. And it's a unique experience to be published. And it's a publication. People see it.
For Maham Shah, it also means doing extra.
For every game that I can, I try to take pictures. It's kind of a fun experience sometimes I'm in the student section, sometimes I'm right on the baseline, getting close to the players.
She enjoys photography, so that's sort of above and beyond her position as editor-in-chief, but I'm glad to have her do that.
These photos are hers. One of them was published this morning in the News of Washington to go with the boys' basketball story. Her voice is hoarse today because in addition to taking photos at school events,
I try to be as involved as I possibly can without getting in trouble. At the football games, I'm screaming over the over the benches, the bleachers. I'm trying to support our Warriors as much as I can. I love cheering on any sport that I can get, like soccer, football, boys basketball. It's just so fun. It makes the experience way more fun just to cheer on the people that you've grown up with.
After the News of Washington has been printed for her classmates and emailed across the country, it's on to other classes, like this Advanced Placement Literature course.
I'm taking 2 AP classes, AP Lit and AP Calc, and that's what I've been doing since sophomore year, just 2 every year, just kind of even it out.
That level of pre-planning and discipline has allowed her to get heavily involved at Washington, not just on the sidelines or in the bylines.
She is a very busy young lady. I could not give you a list of all the things that she's in, but every time we talk to her, she's someplace else. Newspaper, all sorts of senior things. She's just very active, very positive, and even as a sophomore when I came in, she was taking on leadership with the sophomore type activities, and then was doing it as a junior. And now, as a senior, has taken on some of those responsibilities as a leader in our building.
But also on the free throw line.
Defense into offense, and another basket for Shah there on the other end. She's got 6 in the game. It's 8-5.
Yeah, 6 of their 8 points. She's had a good night already. She's going to look to continue that.
And it all is about getting Shah in the post.
We are a little young. We lost all 5 of our starters this year, but that really hasn't affected us. We have 5 great starters, and they're just a really good group of girls to work with. Every day in practice, it's just, they're so cooperative, and we always get things done really quickly. And the young underclassmen too, like the juniors and sophomores that are on the varsity squad, are always helping us and making us all better.
Good.
We have a pretty young team, and that's partly because we had such a good group of kids last year that played in 2 championship games. And we're an inexperienced group to start the year, but we really like our talent. We really like this group of kids. We think they have the capability to do a lot of things, but we need the season to figure that stuff out. We need to play more games, they need to gain more experience, and we just need to keep getting better at practice. We look at it as 3 kids. We're experienced kids, and they're just playing a little bit bigger role. And then we have some other kids that now they're starting and playing a different role. But we tell them over and over again, part of the advantage they have is they practiced every day against some of the best kids in the state last year and had to do that every single day. So it's an adjustment, but it's not as big a step as some people would have you believe.
As a senior on this team, she has a big role.
Just to kind of step up and be a leader, no matter what. Like if we're not doing a play right, just kind of help someone out if they're in a new position, or if we're not doing a drill as fast as we should, then we just kind of get everyone together and be okay, this is we need to step it up a little bit. Just kind of be a leader for everybody.
It really depends on the kid. We ask for leadership, but leadership is different to different people. Some people are vocal leaders, some people lead by example, some people are compassionate and pick up somebody when they're down. So we have different things for all of them, and we try to give them roles that suit their strengths. What a great kid. She is one of those that just brings positive energy every single day to practice. She's positive with her teammates, she's positive in our building. A really good example is a couple days ago we were over at one of the middle schools just working with some of the younger kids, and she did a great job of coaching those younger kids, calling them by their first name, slowing them down and teaching them things, and is very, very, very personable.
Just as she's grown as a journalist, she's improved herself as a basketball player.
She has come a long way, and we always looked at her in the past as a talented basketball player, but not quite polished. And she's figured out a way to polish a lot of those things. She has become a lot more aggressive this year. Offensively, has done a good job of scoring the basketball for us. Defensively, she's become a lot more physical, and is doing a better job of rebounding the basketball. And you know, the other intangibles that she's always brought is just the way that she talks to her teammates, the way that she carries herself, and bringing that positive energy.
And of course, if that were all, that would be impressive. But this starting center was also a starter this fall on the volleyball team too.
I love playing both sports. I mean, I've always had people tell me you just need to pick one, you need to excel at one, but I can't really do that. Like, I've grown up playing basketball and volleyball, and quitting one sport would be like just like a part of my life gone. And the coaches make it really easy to, like, when you're in a sport, you focus on that sport, but they're also considerate of the other sport going on. I like the sport that I'm playing in, so during volleyball season, I love volleyball. I'm only focused on volleyball, and then during basketball, I can't think of anything else.
She's not the only one.
You know, at Washington, it's more common than a lot of other places, and that's an emphasis that we have in our program. We really push our kids to be a warrior, not to be a basketball player, not to be a soccer player, not to be a volleyball player, but to be a warrior. And you know, we're very proud of the fact out of our basketball kids in our sophomore class on up this year, I think we only had 2 or 3 kids that were not in a fall sport. And that's something that we really emphasize, and we think it builds a good sense of community with our kids going from sport to sport and activity to activity.
It just kind of shows like the athletics at Washington, like it's just really like, it's encouraged to like do more than one sport.
Like many of our highlighted seniors, Maham is also heavily involved in student leadership and other associations at school.
I'm in Principal's Advisory Council, I'm in National Honor Society, Salsa, Spanish Club, Chess Club.
And she has plans to use her experience and all those AP courses to go far.
I am waiting to hear back from a couple, but I think the main colleges I'm really hoping to get accepted to are either Baylor in Texas or Georgetown on the East Coast. Going big.
It's safe to say she'll get some good letters of recommendation.
I mean, she has a unique viewpoint in a lot of ways, I think, just because she's very well known, and that's not always unique, but sometimes the newspaper students are from a athletic, popular group. Sometimes they are from a very brainy group, and sometimes you get kids that have the whole package, and that's Maham. I mean, obviously she has talent on the basketball court, but she's very good in her academic classes as well. She's a wonderful leader. I mean, the kids listen to her, what she says, her opinions, her advice that she gives, and it's fantastic. She's works very hard and works well.
You know, the biggest thing is how much she's grown into this role. Again, the difference between being talented and being effective. We are so pleasantly surprised with how much she has helped us this year. We knew there was potential, but hadn't quite seen it in action, and she's really has played like a senior this year. She's done a lot of things that senior kids do to help you win, to help your teammates feel good about themselves, to help you be successful.
I know that she seems to be able to get along with just about everybody that I have ever known her to encounter, no matter what their viewpoints or groups, or she seems to work with just about everybody pretty well. She's an incredible student. I haven't had any staff members that say they can't work with her or even imply that she's not a kind of person that they want to be able to work with and help them with whatever they're doing, and it's phenomenal.
High school seniors with this level of respect and achievement usually have some kind of support. For Maham, it's her faith.
It's the biggest thing to me. I have always grown up like learning about my religion through Sunday school and through my parents, and they always taught me just to never be afraid to show my religion to other people.
Only it might not be exactly what you think. For this Sioux Falls native,
I was born and raised in Sioux Falls. I went to Child Center Elementary, That was like school for the gifted kids. And I went to Patrick Henry and then I came straight here.
Her faith has become, to some, an identity in this country.
I was really young when 9/11 happened, but when I learned about it, like what actually happened, it just kind of like hit me that not everyone knows about what's going on, and it's kind of like my responsibility as a Muslim to show people like what it actually means to be one.
So at Washington High School, she's starting the Muslim Student Association.
It has been through like different, mostly in colleges, but there have been some high schools like in Texas and the East Coast have started it. And it's not necessarily just like for Muslims, it's for people who don't understand much about the religion, just for like an open community, just to come in, sit down and really learn about like what the religion's really about. I figure that, well, Washington's the most diverse school in South Dakota, and we have so many Muslims here, and most people don't know what Islam is really about. And through all the stereotypes and like the racial discrimination that's happening, I feel it's really important to educate, especially my peers, like what it actually means so that they don't grow up having those same mindsets. I haven't had a meeting yet, I just started it, but from talking to a couple people, they seem really excited to just come and listen, and I've gotten a lot of support back from teachers and parents that it's a really good thing that I started.
Next year, she plans to major in political science. Her motivation is clear.
The presidential election this year, there was a lot of talk about it throughout the year, like, oh, who said what, and how does this relate to like the economy and all that stuff, and it's kind of got me interested in like what's actually going on in our government. It's not been the easiest for Muslims to hear about Donald Trump and what he's going through, but throughout the past 8 years with President Obama, I know like myself and my Muslim community in Sioux Falls, we all felt a little safer because of all the effort that he's been showing. Like, we need to respect the Muslim community, we need to show them love and peace. And with Donald Trump coming into the picture, there was a lot of talk going on when he said that he wanted to ban all Muslims. And that just kind of all hit us. And I think that's gonna make us a little stronger as a community, that we need to stick up for each other. And hopefully that he'll lose some of the like intensity that he's bringing, but even if it stays, I hope that it'll make other people aware of like what we're going through and kind of help us out through the next 4 years.
Her regular columns in Washington's paper haven't skirted these or other issues, and don't expect them to. This school is, after all, a safe space for all to be who they are. A microcosm, perhaps, of what the country could be.
I believe that Washington does a great job of just making everyone feel welcome. That even though we have so much diversity, people from different countries, you can walk through the halls and hear 4 or 5 different languages being spoken. I think that's really awesome. I think everyone at Washington is really supportive of that. We do our best to try to make everyone feel included in everything that we do, like basketball games, volleyball, any games that happen, we try to bring as many people as we can no matter what. Even at just small activities like the talent show, the beach bash, we try to get as many people as we can to go out for the talent show and show their like different talents, and it's really fun. I love being in such a diverse place because it kind of reminds me like, okay, like not everything is bad about the world. Like there's diverse people, there's different languages, there's different cultures, and there's a lot of love and respect for people here.
And whether it's here for the next few months or in the world in the decades ahead, she has what it takes to create change.
She's going to be successful. Whatever she does, she's going to be successful. She's a very hard worker, very organized, and very personable, which sometimes those things don't always go hand in hand. But whatever she ends up doing, she's a person who's going to fit in and do well working with other people.
Maham is the kind of student that as a teacher you want to have. I feel that I have some things I can teach her, but mostly she has things to offer to my other students. And while that's certainly not her responsibility as a student, as the newspaper editor, it's a wonderful thing that she can do and help those students to become better students and journalists and people in general. And that's what she's good at doing. I think she brings out the best in people, myself included.
Again, she's the type of person who could get involved and could, bring a voice for people who have different colored skin, different religion. The Circle of Courage has the 4 quadrants, but every time we talk about her, I just think about generosity and how she treats other people, how she reaches out to other people, how she wants everybody to feel involved and feel important, and you know, how she treats people is something that is admired by everyone in our building, the adults and the students included.
You can read Maham's columns and stories and see her photos by going to whsnow.com and see the rest of the girls' basketball schedule on the Washington page of the Sioux Falls School District's website.